Hello everyone, I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host for the Florida Aviation Network, coming to you live and in the clear here at the beautiful Sun and Fun event. We call it the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and we're also here at the Sun and Fun International Expo for 2023 49th Annual. This is going to be a busy week, and it's one of the, I guess it's probably the biggest so far as the attendance and the pre-sales going on, according to Gene Conrad, the new CEO here at Sun and Fun. And we at the Florida Aviation Network are here, we promote aviation safety. That's our role in life. And we are a very professional organization run by amateurs and volunteers. Go figure that one out. We do an excellent job. These folks dedicate hundreds of hours to practice their students, they're lovers of aviation. Their passion just oozes out of their veins. And this is why we're here to give them a chance to practice and get ready to throw them into the industry. Today is the beginning of our week, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's Tuesday, it's the 28th, and we have a panel here of hosts that you're going to be listening to, hopefully, through the week. And we want to bring you some compelling, very inspirational shows. And I'm going to introduce Tweet Coleman. Tweet, and she's there on camera. There we go. There we are. That's the spread shot. Tweet, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And yes, Tweet Coleman, we are twins. Yep. She got all the looks and the brains. I don't know what I wound up with, but we'll develop some more with Tweet later on in the day, actually. And then on the far side there's Mr. Ron Timmermans, and not to be confused with the Tenderman nut. That's Ron Timmermans, and if you want to really get an education, Google Ron Timmermans, and you'll understand why he is so important to us here at the Florida Aviation Network. But folks, what are we going to be doing this week?
Well, I'll start off. So obviously we're going to interview some aviation personalities that are here present at Sun and Fun this week. And our underlying theme and everything we do, of course, is aviation safety and how to drive down the accident rate from wherever it is today to zero. And so that's my goal. And Ben, I think we've talked before, I mentioned that I'm part of the Wings Industry Network, which is an association of aviation entities that have a common theme of safety as part of their culture. And together we, in conjunction with the FAA and the FAST team, we look at ways to drive the aviation accident rate down to zero, which is a lofty goal. And some would say, trending downward is one thing, but getting to zero is just impossible. And I'm thinking, I'm not so sure it's impossible. As a matter of fact, why would we want our goal anything less than zero? And I offer this to people that argue with me. I say, if there was only one aviation accident or fatality a year and it happened to be you or someone from your family, would that be acceptable? And of course the answer is no. So if it's unacceptable for you or me to have a fatality or an accident, then it should be our mutual goal to have zero accidents and zero fatalities. And so that's what we're striving for. And so how do we do that? Well, for one, we concentrate on safety by learning as best we can through knowledge courses and the opportunities, and also hearing from others how they treat safety as a core value in what they do and what they propose. So throughout this week, as we interview various personalities in aviation, you're going to find that we draw out of them what is it that your organization does, or what is it that you do that contributes to safety. And so that's a lot of what we're doing here this week, is learning about some really neat people and their values in safety. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting weekend. Gosh, this is the 49th one, right? So next year is going to be a big celebration, but even this year at 49, it's still going to be a great show, I'm sure.
Every year, and I tell you, and Tweet, and one of the hardest things, and Tweet is joining us this year as the first, I guess, as a host, but the hardest thing in the world is for a host with a lot of experience to not want to engage and just take over the show, because Tweet has so many thousands of hours, and we're going to get back into that on the at 11 o'clock today when we introduce her, and we're going to learn a lot because she brings so much to the table, just like Ron Timmermans. And I'm not going to go into what I bring to the table, but I've investigated well over 500 aviation accidents, over 1,500 fatalities, and that has left a marked impression on me that I want to share at the right time with everyone, and we will. But I want to pull this out of Tweet. And Tweet, what are you looking forward to this week?
Well, a lot of variety, as Ron mentioned, that's going to happen this week. One thing I'd like to share is I lead a high school group, an aviation group, and our motto is safety first. And before we start any meeting, we all put up our finger and we say safety first, and then we drive into our meeting. And it's interesting, I'll see the students at the grocery store or other places during the week, and as soon as they see me, they say safety first. You know, and it started out kind of like a fun thing to do, but when you really think about it, there's so much involved with safety first, and not only in aviation, but safety at home, and a lot of these young students now are driving their cars and so on. And it's so important if we think about that and have that as a mantra, safety first, it really does get embedded into our minds and souls.
It does. And Tweet, and this is not an egotism thing coming out, maybe a little bit, but before every takeoff, when I have passengers on board, particularly if they're not used to flying, I said, don't worry, there's only one person more important on this aircraft than you, and that's me. So if I make it, you make it. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to take good care of you because I want to make sure I come back home too.
Yeah.
So
well, it's a little levity too, that I think that you give. You know, it is good.
Because I mean, I've been in some situations where, gosh, it was just so tense. Sorry, Obie. We've got to introduce you, Obie Young, before it's too late. There he is. We'll bring Obie back in here at some point and talk to him a little bit. We're going to start winding this down because Ron has someplace very important to go. Tweet has another place very important to go, and I have no place to go but here and talk with folks all day. But okay, final thoughts for this particular segment. Start with on the outskirts.
I'm on the outskirts. Well, thank you, Ben. So again, I'm just very excited to be here at the 49th annual Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo at Lakeland. This is a great place to be this week if you have anything to do with aviation. If you're interested in safety and driving down the accident rates, you're going to learn a lot just from the folks that we interview this week, and good interaction. Plus, you're going to meet some really cool people. So I'm excited. I'm glad to be here with you, Tweet, and with you, Ben, and other hosts that will be here this week. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah. Yep.
Tweet, take it away.
All right, thank you. I think every time we listen to somebody, especially if you're in the safety business, we should be thinking about what can we glean from them? What can we learn from them regarding safety? Because everybody has a message about safety, but sometimes we need to be reminded, what is safe for you, and how do you go about securing that?
And Tweet, and I know you're big into system safety as well, safety management systems. And SMS does not have to be difficult. It should be very easy. And it's our jobs to make sure that everyone knows how easy SMS is to employ and to constantly work to change that safety culture, to be one of thinking of, wow, that could have really turned out bad. Share it with somebody. Don't hide it, because that's why one of the reasons we got into this mess. But we are going for zero accidents. It is not it's not an unaccomplishable task. And if we always strive for it, if you never strive for it, you're never going to even come close. So anyway, we're going to wrap this one up a little bit early in order to give Ron a chance to get to where he needs to go. But please stay with us. Are we okay? I see John Carter's. I feel so much. When John Carter's here, things happen. And usually good. But anyway, we're going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to sign it off. This is Ben Coleman, the anchor host, Florida Aviation Network, here 2023 49th Annual Sun and Fun International Expo. And from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, don't forget, with the Aerospace Center for Excellence, that's for both John Leanhouse from last year, and Gene Conrad is going to be driving this ship forward at full speed. We'll see you next interview.